your 17th podcast episodes with the Warriors Group. I am your host, Albert Ramos, and today this is going to be a short podcast episode. It's just something that I've been noticing, and I definitely want to be able to talk about it, okay? One of the first things that I want to talk about whenever we talk about, the VA home loan is the misconception that you do not have to pay absolutely anything, and they confuse that with 0% down. Okay, the VA home loan does have 0% down option, right? That means that you don't have to put absolutely 0% down towards your home. However, there are some other things that you're going to have to pay throughout the real estate transaction, and those are the things that I would like to talk about you today. Thing number one that you're going to have to pay throughout the real estate transaction is the VA funding fee. Okay, the VA funding fee is important for us to understand because the VA funding fee as of today is 2.3%. Here shortly, that VA funding fee is going to go down based on conversations that I'm hearing on the grapevine, okay? Supposedly it's going to go down. If you are your first-time home buyer utilizing the VA home loan, your VA funding fee is 2.3%. If you are using the VA loan for the second time, your VA funding fee is going to be 3.6%. It actually goes up, okay? Now, VA funding fee only applies to veterans that do not have at least 10% of disability or more. Or if you're a service member, because if you're a service member, you don't rate a VA rating yet, okay? That is the first thing. And I see that most commonly when people ask me, Albert, if we offer $500,000 for the home, why is our loan for $512,000? And that is because of the VA funding fee, right? Now, a lot of people, that is a down payment. It is not a down payment. A down payment you cannot roll into your loan. That is liquid money that you need to have in your bank account to put down as a down payment. For FHA, it's 3.5%. For a conventional loan, if you don't want to pay PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, it's 20%. Okay? The VA funding fee, you can roll it into the loan. That is why if you offer $500,000 for the home, a good mortgage lender will roll it into the loan, and your loan will be $512,000 to $515,000. Okay, that is number one. The second thing is there are certain contingencies, and I have a completely separate video on real estate contingencies, which are meant to protect you. Okay, however, within those contingencies, there are several things that need to be paid. First thing that needs to be paid, real estate contingency number one, which is the home inspection. The home inspection has to be paid and has to be conducted by a professional home inspector, a licensed home inspector. Now, you can either find one yourself, or most likely, if you have a good realtor, the realtor is already going to have a home inspector that he works with. Good home inspectors vary depending on the square footage of the home. So if you have, let's say, for example, a home that's 1,400 square feet, it might only be 250. If you have a big home of like 4,500 square feet, it might be $500, $750, So that is another thing that has to be paid, and that has to be paid up front. Okay? It's not like, I'll pay him once the transaction closes, or I'll pay him a month from now. That cannot happen. And I don't suggest that you put that money in a credit card, because if you're putting that money in a credit card, you're increasing your debt to income ratio, and you do not want to touch your credit cards when you are in escrow. Okay, that means that if you are on a 30-day escrow, you do not want to touch your credit cards for at least 30 days, because your credit will be monitored during those 30 days to see if your debt to income ratio has increased, and it will push you out of the pre-approval. So number two, home inspector needs to be paid. How much that he needs to be paid, it will vary on the square footage of the home that you are trying to buy. Number three, Your home has to get an appraisal done because that is the second contingency in your real estate transaction. That is the appraisal contingency. The appraisal contingency here in California is $700. And that has to be paid up front as well. Okay? So you have to make sure that that $700 and that home inspection money, you have it liquid. Again, I don't suggest that you put it on a credit card. You can put it on a credit card, right? I don't suggest that you put it on a credit card. That money can come from your EMD or your earnest money deposit. That's why I always suggest buyers to put at least at a minimum of $3,000 because there's several things that you can do with your EMD, and that is a completely different video that I will do on a later time. However, when you are doing an earnest money deposit, at least put in there a minimum of $3,000 to $5,000 because at least you know that your home inspector is going to be able to get paid from that deposit, and the appraisal is going to have to be paid from that deposit as well. Okay, very important that we understand that. The third thing that we want to make sure that we understand, specifically in this market, is if you are trying to buy your rate down. A lot of people don't know this. This is not common knowledge out there. I don't know why, but it's not common knowledge out there, okay? You can buy your rate down. So let's say, for example, you got quoted at a 6%. And you'd be like, oh man, my monthly payment is going to be over what I really want to pay. But I'm willing to put, let's say, $12,000 towards this real estate transaction because I've been saving and I've been getting ready to buy a property for the last year to 6 months. So me and my wife were able to save up around $12,000. Good on you. Congratulations on that, okay? What I would suggest is if you have a 6% rate, you can actually buy your rate down with that money. All that is a conversation with your lender and be like, hey, how much is it going to take me? How many points am I going to have to buy down in order for me to get to, let's say, a $3,200 payment? Let's say your payment right now is $3,400. How much is it going to cost me to bring my payment down to $3,200? Your mortgage lender will do the math. Okay, you're going to have to buy 0.75 points down, and that is going to cost you $10,000. That is money that is going to have to be paid at the end of the real estate transaction before you actually close on the home. Guys, just because you're utilizing the VA home loan does not necessarily mean that you are not putting anything for the real estate transaction. Because what I don't want is for those things to catch you off guard. Because if those things catch you off guard, that might be the end temporarily of your home buying experience, right? A lot of people, because what I don't want is for you to put everything that you own on that, on escrow, and then you have to live off ramen noodles for the next 30 days. And then whenever you have to put things on your credit card because you cannot simply afford it. That is not the type of home buying experience that I want you to have. Specifically, if this is the first home that you're buying, okay? I want you to have a pleasant and smooth home buying experience by following the tips that I'm going to give you, okay? Again, guys, my name is Albert Ramos, and you guys can find me up here by clicking on the link in my bio or down there, depending on where you're seeing this, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever it is that you're looking at this video, and YouTube as well. So I'll see you guys in the next one.